this combo is the Faceless Void. Is that something that's going to be viable coming into so far? I mean, it's not too deep into the draft yet, but
it's harder to pick. What you want to, they need damage, Aster. They need a lot of damage. I think they picked the comfort, but now they need to fix it in second phase.
I think Timber saw maybe 15.
Yeah, it's true actually.
Or Dawnbreaker.
Yeah, Timber didn't. I mean, I guess that kills the Timber potential. I think they only play this Dawnbreaker on position 3, right?
Yeah, I think it's only 3.
No. They go for the Dawnbreaker. Well, it could be, it can punish Chen on lane, at least. I don't know if it's the best hero against Chen in the game. I'm personally not very convinced, but it's very strong against Chen in the lane, at least. Chen doesn't really have a way to protect himself from two heroes trying to kill him. Obviously, he has no escape, no slow, no stun, and usually carries don't bring that either. So Chen is just like a free kill for Dawnbreaker Tiny.
And Dawn can kind of sit in the lane if Chen is like pushing with creeps and push it out and be like that first hero that gets gone on in the tower when the whole team TP's in, which is pretty nice.
It's solid. I think they need to get a lot of value from the next two picks on Aster, because right now it's looking scary. We get a Storm Spirit, and that means that it's going to be a Mira Zeus, I would assume. Storm Spirit mid, a very good hero at finding Dazzle. Whenever you play against Dazzle, you have to give that hero respect, and you have to understand that this hero needs to die. You can't just allow Dazzle to cast all his spells from the backline, save people with Grave, get a bunch of hexes with his shard. Dazzle has to die, and Storm is one of the best at doing so.
well, that is a Juggernaut as well, now rounding out the Phase 2 draft on the side of Spirit. I mean, we saw how well it performed the last game. Does it feel good coming in for this phase for Spirit?
I mean, kind of decent, like a good Jugger game. Like he really doesn't die to these heroes yet. Maybe it's kind of shaky lane that he will have, but in game, like he has Zeus, LT Zeus, Storm go in, find Dazzle let, like good fight to start. This Jugger can just be a bait, you know, like just press, let Fury TP out, push lanes, things like this.
Yeah, and they get the Jugger Chen. It's like when they group up right now, it's going to be quite insane. You have to think of the Chen, all the heals from Chen, the creeps, the healing ward. It's going to be such a massive, grouping composition that Aster can't really deal with right now, because these heroes don't counter push. They have nothing to clear waves and to kill the Chen creeps, taking down your tower. So they're going to have to fight into this. Meaning they're going to have to fight into the Jugger, through the Chen creeps, to get to the healing ward. And honestly, I don't think any of their heroes does it whatsoever right now. So it can get really scary. Of course, there's the laning phase aspect, which probably favors Asters a little bit more now. So they could just snowball the game. But if the game is even, I'm worried about them.
And that is a Death Prophet rounding out Phase 2 for Aster, which is a very favorite hero for them. Does that feel good enough with the current Spirit lineup? I'm personally a little concerned with if there's enough catch for that Storm, as well as, you talk about that team fight, Storm's going to be just zipping and zapping around too. So I'm not sure, not convinced.
Yeah, it's not going to be easy. Not going to be easy. I mean, DP could work. She has a Dazzle to back her up. So she can just maybe brute force her way into the fight with the help of the Grave. If the Storm doesn't have a good enough of a game and that he's, killing Dazzle every fight. I'm not sure. Do you feel like DP is a good pick here, or?
I feel like it's good. Like, look, their snowball, their 5-man could potentially even become better than Spirit ones. And I don't think they have a hard time to catch Storm. Tiny, Silence, DP, Dazzle made 15, and I mean Dawnbreaker is maybe he could, but yeah, I think they have good ways to kill the Storm.
Early game is what I'm scared of. I just feel like maybe it's too much for DP to run into Chen creeps early game. But with items, then it might work. I mean, I guess it's a DP mid, so she's gonna have a faster game. So that's the bright side. It should be DP mid, right? Or could it be Dawn? Could it be Tiny mid by any chance?
They have done Tiny mid before. Ori does play him.
I wonder if Boboka plays Dawnbreaker, and this could be like the Dawnbreaker DP lane. I'm not sure.
I think they will rather go with their comfort. Boboka played all his games on Tiny, only one time on mid, so I think they will just go with comfort. And
so DP
Tiny.
mid?
Yeah, probably DP mid. I mean, if they wanna, I don't know if they could Dawnbreaker mid and DP top, but probably he wants down into Chen anyway.
Well, I mean, this is definitely Aster's comfort. These heroes, I think they're super happy with the heroes that they're getting. I'm just unsure if this kind of lineup can deal with a well-executed Chen lineup from Team Spirit. So we'll have to see. But I feel like both teams are getting something they're going to be very, very comfortable playing, at least.
So Aster's looking for a carry now, most likely. Looking at the Monet Faceless Void against Storm Jug seems pretty good, but also doesn't really do much to the Chen army. Is the problem.
I don't know if he has a hero that can help, though. I feel like it's maybe too much pressure put on the carry to address Chen.
Yeah.
And that they should have been addressing it by now, and probably they feel like they did. So obviously gonna give them the credit that, you know, they have a good plan and they will execute it properly. Wonder what he's gonna be looking at. I think he could be looking at the Void then, regardless. If they feel like, you know, they don't have a Chen problem, then obviously it's a great Void game. They have one stun literally in the Storm.
Yeah.
And it's not, and they have a save also for the Void. Like, you don't want to go on this Void if you pick Void. Like, there's no way you can kill him.
And that is a Mars to round things out for the side of Spirit. Definitely a hero they favor and love to play. Are we feeling good about this one?
I think it's great. It's great. You have to think of this Chen Jogger as a ball that, in my opinion, is going to be impossible to fight if the lanes go well. And then it's just about forcing them to fight into it. And what better spell than an arena to force you to turn and fight into the arena? I think it's an amazing pickup. They also have this Zeus pick that is a little bit exposed or abusable on lanes, and then Mars just fixes it. They go for the Void anyway. I mean, I love it. It's kind of two teams making statements. It's like, we believe we can make this work, you know?
No, for sure. And I mean, I suppose just looking at the draft and how they're going to be planning to lane this. I mean, I fully expect Aster to just start roaming their tiny Dazzle as early as they can to perhaps try and make a miserable lane for Spirit. But we saw in the first game, it started out really well for them, just did not end that well for them. So looking at this draft for game number 2, is it very doable for Aster to tie things up, or is it going to be a Spirit draft once again?
What do you think, Amar? What are you going for?
I mean, Aster has their comfort, and I think Spirit has, I mean, kind of a solid draft. Like, I think it comes down to the lanes. Like, if Spirit can get good lanes, I think they can easily win this game, because if Aster don't get BKBs this game, I don't think they can play. I think they will just end this game and kill them. Oh, wait, what? Collapse, Jen?
Maposhka's playing Mars.
Well, bit of some twists and swaps there. But we do have our casters ready, so let's see how this particular matchup is going to play out with some of that shakeup. Gareth Lacoste, take us away.
I mean, we're as confused as you are. Collapse Chen. We were assuming, you know, it's going to be one of these Beastmaster, Night Stalker last picks for them. They get the Mars. Oh yeah, collapse Mars makes sense. And then they completely swap things up. What was happening?
A good question, Gary. Maybe they want to hit an earlier timing with this Chen, get to the... I don't know if this is a Helm of the Dominator build from Chen, something that we've seen from off-lane Chens. I don't know. After they picked this hero, their chances of winning this game definitely skyrocketed.
Yeah, some bonkers stuff. I mean, Team Aster also trying to pick up the pace, right? Instead of having Monet on that tempo hero, they're going to try and buy time for the Void to really catch up, get his net worth going. The DP, the Dazzle Tiny, very good at kind of roaming, taking objectives. Does that Chen 3 then change things? Because he's going to be then faster than a support Chen, faster than Aster.
I guess that's the whole idea behind it. Also, it's been a while since I saw Position 5 Mars. I know it's been very popular in South America. They do flex this hero from the mid lane to the Position 5 if necessary. But as a Position 5, like, what do you bring to the table in the laning stage? That was always my concern. Once you get to the levels to the mid game, of course, you're going to have one item. You're going to have Arena available to keep people in place and also disengage. Team Spirit is very good at resetting because they do have Chen with the mech with the heal. You have Juggernaut with the healing ward. Their heroes are very difficult to catch. So there's going to need to be like tossbacks, Chronosphere on top of them, one spear, Arena to disengage, spin, Storm Spirit can get away, Zeus with the Heavenly Jump. So very difficult lineup to kill, I would say.
Yeah, maybe you can consider this Mars with his displacement tool with the spear as, like a softer Tiny, right? Bobika's going to be looking to blink in and toss. Miposhki will be looking to spear people around. And that's a really great tool to have against heroes like DP, Dawnbreaker, Dazzle, right? They want to dogpile. They want to get on top of a target, kill them with a Ghost and a Solar Guardian. So if you have this Arena spear, like you say, Miposhki, he's going to get level 6 at some point. He'll have those tools. Doesn't necessarily need a blink or anything like that. What about these other lanes then? Because Ori, picking this DP into the Storm, is that good for the Death Prophet?
Yeah, I mean, that Prophet's going to farm in this matchup. Team Aster did go for their comfort picks. You see this, like, everyone played these heroes so far in the tournament. Monet had a godlike performance on his Faceless Void yesterday. Baboka on Tiny, something that one of the better Tiny players out there, definitely. And XXS on Dawnbreaker did manage to pop off multiple times.
And maybe a little easier for XXS to execute in this game as well, right? Because he was focused heavily in game 1. His Brewmaster did get some splits off, but they were never really utilized to their full potential. This time around, he's going to have DP, Void with a Chrono, a lot of heroes that can be graved up as well to land Solar Guardians and keep fights rolling.
Yeah, definitely. And like for me, it looks like a good Dawnbreaker game. We've seen some teams experiment it on the off lane, especially PSG, LGD, Fate Beyond's performance yesterday, getting Rampage, getting second Rampage. They do love to play this here on the off lane. It's a scaling position 3, and yeah, there's going to be a lot of sustain as well from Aster. Dead Prophet with the Spirit Siphons, Ulti healing her, Dawnbreaker on top of that, Dazzle with the Grave, potential tossbacks. So 2 very difficult to kill lineups, I would say. For Dazzle, it's going to be a bit of a nightmare because Zeus does provide vision. You have Storm Spirit. That's going to be Toronto Tokyo's job. Find Dazzle in the back lines and straight up kill him.
That's something I was going to ask you as well, because we used to see Storm Spirit as this hero that against Death Ball suffers a lot. He wants to find individual targets, across the map several years ago. Now a lot of players have become much better with vision, with the ability to understand which target to go on, to actually find that assassination to kill a key hero, right? As we are paused and waiting to get ourselves into game 2.
I'm no expert, Gary, but I would prefer if this Mars is offlane. To be able to play with Storm Spirit, like once he gets to the Blink Dagger, and play with the Storm Spirit. Sometimes you need that a bit of extra damage to execute on Dazzle and straight up kill him. Zeus comes into a play with his ulti, but he can't jump, he can't close the gap. We're talking about the mid-game fights before Juggernaut and Mars do have those Blink Daggers. And yeah, we have a bit of a pause here.
Yeah, we do. I mean, Aster 1 game away from elimination. Team Spirit 1 game away from recreating several grand finals in a row up against LGD. I mean, everyone in the crowd, who are you for? Team Aster fans out there? Who have we got? No, nobody.
I saw a couple of them, rooting for Team Aster, and also Team Aster, they're Caster's favorite because you can't spell Caster without Aster, right? And yeah, look at the crowd right now.
There, we found them.
They're on a different side.
And what about Team Spirit? Any noisemakers for Spirit? Okay. We know where the bias lies now. They want a 2-0 for Spirit.
Yeah, some of the players did disconnect. I'm not sure if we need to rejoin the lobby, if there's going to be another lobby available, but yeah, definitely some of a delay. Maybe there was a misclick, Yeah, we did not want to play this Mars on the offlane.
So we've been talking about Mars 5 and Chen 3 and maybe
and then it's a misclick.
An error, a mistake has happened. Yeah, if we could get production to tell us what's going on there. As, like you say, the players have all disconnected. Waiting for game 2. What are your expectations for Aster in terms of mental state? Because I saw a couple of them there, a little bit shaky. Game 1 not looking too hot. Do you think they're going to be reset and ready to go for game 2?
Yeah, I think so. They did break the curse. Aster did have a lot of issues on LAN fighting against international teams, and finally they broke the curse. And looking at their draft, this is a classic Aster draft, a good scaling overall draft, comfort heroes. I feel like, they could potentially be able to take this one. I'm leaning towards Team Spirit.
Sounds like we should go and jump into the lobby and get ourselves into the remake of the game and find out exactly what's happening.
This talk about the offlane Chen could have been, you know, could have been just a meme, and they disconnected, and we're gonna see if it's gonna be really offlane Chen. Last time I remember the misclick, it was Gyrocopter from Insania during TI, the big one.
What was the other one? We had Evil Geniuses where Fly and Arteezy had Phoenix and something else where they'd accidentally swapped their heroes too. They had to play them out.
I don't remember that, but yeah, I'm the master of the misclicks. I do misclick a lot. And then blame it on the teammates. I'm like, oh no, I bought this 5th tome. Misclicked 5 times in a row, while my other position, my other support is 7 levels below me.
And it's usually me that gets the flame, you know, playing with you and Fog. Just like, Gary, what are you doing? Stop running at the enemy, stop dying.
Oh, me and Fog, we're librarians. We love those books.
Let's keep reading. Yeah, you want to steal it away. Get that experience. Get yourself all the levels up. As it looks like we are all back into the lobby. Team Aster against Team Spirit should be ready underway any time now. That's going to be a spicy one as well. Monet on that Void. Ori on the DP. I really think that Aster were really trying to build their draft to play as quickly as they possibly could.
You see, one of the better offlaners in the world. Admiral Bulldog. I was talking about Slacks and Admiral Bulldog right behind him.
I mean, it wouldn't be a bad patch for Bulldog, would it?
No, definitely not. Nature's Prophet's very popular, Lone Druid as well. And that's about it.
Well, what other heroes does he play? That's it. He's just got the 2. Oh, I love that little sleeping mask, the eye mask that Yatoro uses, like a little cushion for his headset. Like beautifully fluffy.
Doesn't want any more pressure on him. Like that pressure from the headset sometimes can be too hard, and they're already feeling the pressure, you know, playing on the stage, 1 game away from getting to the grand finals.
Yeah, do you think we're going to get ourselves one of these 60-minute games? Because I know, you know, Sunsfan and Jenkins have had a few of them. I've not seen a single tier 5 item this tournament. I'm begging for it.
Oh, you're one of those guys, the chaos that tier 5 items bring to the table.
Yeah, give me those Books of the Dead. Get the push going. I honestly do miss Necronomicon. I'm not going to lie. That was one of my favorite items.
I mean, if you miss Necro 3 in the game, you can play Necrophos on the offlane. That's Necro 3 right for you.
Whew. Just a mild groan for you there, Lacoste.
And seems like players are getting ready to start the game again. We need to get through the picks.
I mean, the most important thing is figuring out whether Collapse is on the Chen or the Mars and what's actually happening there.
Oh, we are getting a word from production. It was actually a misclick, and we try to theory craft why Chen on the offlane is such a good pick for nothing, actually. I mean, this is what casters do. We're very good at lying and pretending that we know what is happening.
Well,
it happened before, so, you know.
The most important thing, right, is, you know, the pro player, you trust, you believe. If they make a choice or a decision, you try and rationalize it. But when, you know, Seb and Amar are going, what the heck is going on? What's happening here? That's when you start to wonder what actually is occurring. Mr. Erman Trout himself. I'm going to have to find the person with the...
Rick Aster.
The Rick Astley, yeah.
Okay.
Because that's unacceptable. You can't just drop
I renamed him
to
Rick Aster.
Rick Aster?
Yeah.
They're never going to give up this game too, are they?
So it's going to be Collapse playing his signature Mars. In the end, it feels like it, and Chen going to be playing position 5. They're having a good laugh about it.
Yeah, so that makes things much more settled, much more ordinary, and, you know, we expect Collapse to be that initiation hero, like Seb was talking about on the panel, able to get those catches with the arena, because as a death ball, you needed that additional bit of team fight and stun to be able to get on top of people. Oh, look,
Chen. Give Battle Pass.
That's why the game's not started. The Chen's walking around in the crowd.
Oh, he was not ready.
Hey, he needs to get up on stage. He's about to play. Yeah, Battle Pass when?
Hopefully.
I feel like,
soon,
you know, after this tournament drops, after grand finals, 3 minutes update, and we're going to have Battle Pass ready.
We've got Battle Pass, we've got True Sight coming, the Cinderella story of Team Spirit. Like, I honestly cannot wait. True Sight, one of the most beautiful stories.
It's what, September 24th?
Esports. Yeah, something like that. A couple of weeks before TI, so you'll have to build up the hype with that nice esports documentary, getting yourself into the international. As the players are currently connecting into the game, just a little more to wait. Everybody, as game 2, they're into the picking stage, and it looks like we should be ready to get back into... Oh, are we going to do draft analysis now, Lacoste?
Yeah, we can guess all 10 heroes, Gary, potentially, if we have a good memory.
Well, does it matter what they pick and ban? Yeah, they're going to keep it.
Chen, I feel like that's going to be... All right, we got it correctly.
Oh, you're so sick. Chen first pick, Tiny. What's next, though, Lacoste?
Dawnbreaker,
No,
Dazzle, never mind.
Dazzle.
Doesn't matter the order, but yeah.
Well, it does. You know, you've got to keep it the same order for all the stats sites, make sure that the data and information is all correct for this series if you're going to remake. So you do want that pick order to be correct. But yeah, we'll have the same draft coming out, and then we'll get into the actual hero picking stage, which hopefully won't have any misclicks this time.
Imagine if they misclick again, or if they pick a different hero. It's like, well, now you got to play this hero.
Yeah, got no choice. That's what you got to do. Yeah, just a refresher. Chen, Zeus, Storm, Jug, and Mars, the Team Spirit 5 of their draft, while Aster, Faceless Void, Death Prophet, Dawnbreaker, Dazzle, and Tiny, as Collapse has picked Mars. Success! Eposhka on the Chen.
This is the
We've
roles
done it.
these are the roles that they wanted, and finally we're going to be able to jump into the game and see what's going to happen.
Yeah, Team Spirit.
This can potentially kill momentum for some of the teams, you know, the longer pauses, some of the disconnects and everything, but yeah, seems like players are fully focused and ready to go.
Yeah, just got to take a deep breath, relax, get rid of that anxiety.
Oh, we want Lacoste puns. I dropped a couple, you know. Thanks. I appreciate that.
He's going to write a book next year. The coffee table book of Lacoste puns and dad jokes.
About coffee tables.
Oh yeah, very important game here. Team Aster, 1 game away from elimination, and Team Spirit closing in on that grand final. And if game 1 was anything to go by, Team Spirit seemed to have Aster's number.
I'll tell one of the old puns that I said,
please.
you know, during last TI, every single time Team Spirit, when they play Mars, they're called Team Spirit.
Oh!
There you go. And we can get finally into the game.
Away we go! Team Spirit up against Aster. And are you ready, everybody in Arlington, for game 2? As we get things underway. And both teams smoking up and getting themselves across the map. Let's get things started.
Finally, we're there. We push the buttons. It's casters who are holding hostages, players, not allowing them to play the game. And we did click that F9 resume button.
Yeah, casters, start game, please. Baboka charging. He wants to get into the action as quickly as possible. Ori already with an early ward, doesn't see the Toronto-Tokyo Storm, also warding in pretty much the same spot. It looks like Spirit just waiting up on this high ground. Maybe expecting Aster to make that wraparound play again, which a lot of teams are enjoying, is that move in towards the mid lane to catch out one of these heroes and look to kill them before the runes spawn. Team Aster also kind of sitting around mid with Baboka, the only one out on the map really. He's centering up small camp, blocking that up at top. And even has an observer ward to place into that top jungle. So he's looking out for Chen and his creep grabbing, his camp stacking.
Yeah, that's inside, so that means they don't want to deal with some of these very annoying early Chen creeps.
Yeah,
we've seen Chen creeps dominate, especially, I know you're going to like this one, the Purge creep against the Batrider. It's in my memory, and I don't think I'm ever going to forget it, e.g. Chen Spectre lane against the Batrider. Very, very annoying to deal with.
Yeah, such a good counter, something that you don't really expect There's not too much here for the Chen to really counteract with specific creeps to grab, but he's still going to bolster that top lane. You know, Jug Chen, one of these stronger combos, you know you're going to be sustained with Healing Ward, with Divine Favor, so you will get free farm on Yatoro no matter what. And it's going to come down to Aster, you know, to toss back, to outplay, kill the Chen a few times, to try and get that ball rolling. Down at bottom, Monet on the Faceless Void. Dazzle playing forward, but this is absolutely a kill lane once Team Spirit gets a couple of levels, so early aggression important for Aster. Don't allow them that early level 2.
Yep, and Miposhka on Mars, just kidding. Collapse is playing it, does have a God's Rebuke. It's going to be a lot of harassment at the early levels. Mira will be starting with the Lightning Bolt instead of the Arc Lightning, as position 4 Zeus's do.
Just keep spamming that out. Time dilation for Monet. Just dragging wave back, resetting the lane. While Miposhka's Chen up top with Yatoro's Jug, looking to secure these creeps. And even dewarding a small camp, get rid of that sentry ward, which Baboka did place a little earlier on. Pretty good from the Dawn and Tiny so far, though. 4 and 2 on the Dawn, and 1 and 1 Tiny, meaning 3 denies against this Juggernaut, delaying and stopping his farm early on.
Dawnbreaker, very strong laner, level 1, 69 damage with 2 gauntlets, circlet and iron branch. Very, very nice, and a lot of damage. So every single time Juggernaut gets close, you know that they're going to be throwing those right clicks in. And I don't think they possess a kill threat on Dawnbreaker.
What was that? Collapse has locked his gauntlet. No reason whatsoever. He's got lots of gauntlets coming. He's buying another, has another one queued, so that's going to be the Brace of Soul Ring build, it looks like, for Collapse. Something that I feel has fallen out of favor recently, but you know, Mars coming back into play still makes a lot of sense. Tank up, have that mana regen, allow you to continue playing aggressively.
A Soul Ring, very powerful items. We see that item being built on even mid laners who are like Storm Spirit, Lina. They do love to get an item. It's a free mana for them. It's a farming tool. How's mid doing? Pretty even. 10 and 4 on Ori, 10-3 on Toronto.
Completely even. Ori getting a little more damage onto Toronto Tokyo. You know, Storm has to get into the midst of the creep wave, and that allows the Crypt Swarm to do a lot of damage back, while Monet chasing into Collapse, and Mira now getting turned on. But Dazzle running away from this Zeus and Mars, who still do offer a lot of damage. Mira now back in the trees, but he's juked them, breaking some ankles. A regen trade won by Aster in that bottom lane, though. Both of them very high HP values, while Team Spirit starting to run a little low.
Sustained from Dazzle, and also being able to use Time Walk defensively against this chip damage.
There it is. Baboka with a toss back.
Maybe they should have played this Chen on the off lane. I don't think he would die there.
There's an opportunity for it, wasn't there? Collapse spears back the Faceless Void, but this time dilation with the Poison Touch. Oh, that's incredibly annoying with a slow, with a turnaround play. Collapse and Mira.
Can he deny himself?
The Dazzle, and he will deny himself to neutrals.
He was thinking there for a second. Do I need to deny myself or not? And gonna come back to a lane in 20 seconds. Full HP, full mana, but nicely done. Great turnaround play.
Yeah, very, very good trade. And it doesn't feel too bad with the Chen dying top lane, right? That's part of his job, is to kind of sacrifice himself for the Juggernaut.
Pretty much. And because Dazzle died, he did replenish bottle for Dead Prophet. Ori actually managing to get a kill on Toronto Tokyo.
So he did, yeah, the solo kill there on the Storm.
Bit of a T-tours, at least for me, because I was watching the bottom lane.
Well, there's action top, action bot. Storm Spirit already brought down to 20% health. Ori just keeping that damage going, now 21 and 7, so a couple of waves ahead of the Storm.
Ori's going to hit level 6, and Toronto still might be level 4, so this is pretty huge. He's going to run him down.
Well, this is where you need your tempo to come from. Vortex from Toronto. Getting a bit of chip damage onto Ori, but look at Baboka roaming in towards mid. I don't know if this is something
he knows. He definitely knows. He senses it. But this is going to be a lot of damage to the tower. Popped the glyph already. Team Spirit, they need to have someone rotate to the mid lane.
No. He tried to jump up Mount Olympus, but he's landed down in Hades now, it looks like.
Bit of a bonk there.
Back. Behind the Dazzle. Poison Touch still going. Good TP, though, knowing there are no stuns. will allow him some safety, but yeah, look at this, level 4 Storm.
Underneath the tower.
Baboka finds him, drags him into the Ghost of Ori.
Beautifully done. I mean, that's not going to be too much damage on the tower because Catapult did die, but still half HP, still Storm Spirit, level 4.
That's a rough one for him.
Oh, never mind. Catapult is still there.
It's going to
Was high because the creeps were actually following Zeus. That's why.
Does get taken out in the end. Team Spirit looking to bring a couple of heroes in that mid lane. Storm now farming top jungle because he desperately needs level 6. 32-11 on the Death Prophet.
You can't skip levels. First, he needs level 5 because he's still level 4.
Yeah, one step at a time. You're right. But he's got some stacks for himself, so that will get him to that first step level 5. Down at the bottom of the cores in terms of CS.
Yeah, but if we show network, can we please show network?
Oh,
big difference. 3,000 on Dead Prophet, 1.8 on Storm Spirit.
Yeah, 1,200 gap, and he's being ganked as well. Storm denies himself to a neutral creep. How has he done that? Collapse, getting run out by this Dazzle, but Miposhka, he's got a couple of creeps here to maybe get in on top of this Dazzle. Collapse has a spear and a God's Rebuke, and that should be enough to burst him down.
If someone knows how to play Mars, that's definitely Collapse. Level 5.5. They're trying to go on Juggernaut.
Oh, it looks like they've got him. Didn't even get a chance to use his magic stick. This is the aggression we needed from Aster. And Ori chasing back Mira, dragging the creep waves around. Again, another situation where Team Spirit, it feels like they've got to extend this laning stage, try and drag things out for a few more minutes. Collapse is having a very good game, though.
Aster's getting way too much from the laning stage. Look at the XXS item build. Double Bracer, Branch, and the Soul Ring. Like, this guy's not gonna die. And also putting some pressure on the top tower, already down to 900 HP.
Yeah, still has the catapult here as well. And with Baboka arriving, they know the spin's down. Healing ward comes from Jug, but Yatoro, he'll be found by Baboka. Avalanche, the toss.
Another Exo.
Damage, but Exo here with a Crypt Swarm from Ori. Clears through the Jug and will take the tier 1 tower.
This is big, because I don't think Team Spirit will be able to match this aggression. Next Exorcism, even grouping around with a couple of heroes. Dawnbreaker does have ulti, so if they find an opening on a mid lane with Solar Guardian, they can just take tower by force without even using the next Exo.
Yeah, I mean, they're just so far ahead in net worth and levels now. This DP Dawnbreaker doing exceptionally well. The Faceless Void being bullied, though. Collapse is keeping Monet away from these creep waves. Bottom of the net worth of the cores. And Juggernaut, Storm, and Mars leapfrogging over him on that board. And it looks like Monet
here.
going for the mom.
I'm not talking about Chen. Vul Assassin reducing the regeneration by 75. One of the most annoying heroes to play against any healer. I mean, it's a 1 point in Shadow Wave, so it's not that much, but ugly looking fella does a ton of work.
He definitely does. Very irritating to deal with. And another neutral creep with an underbite. They've all got these big old teeth and fangs. Tumbler's toy for Team Spirit. We'll see if Aster are able to get one for their Tiny. They're bringing a few heroes down here. Aster want to force something. Baboka so far has had an exceptional time catching heroes, and Collapse is going to be no different on the Mars. Time dilated, and the Solar Guardian landing.
Good body blocks from Baboka.
Gets XXS a kill. Mira and Miposhka now kind of relegated just to holding back any push that Aster would want to make.
You asked and it gets delivered. Tiny does have a Tumbler's Toy, so might be able to close the gap. It's definitely the best tier 1 item in the game. Fairy's Trinket is up there, but I prefer Tumbler's Toy.
Well, Mira goes a step too far into that bottom jungle. 3 Aster heroes meet him. And now the aggressive wards start to come out. The sentry there looking to de-ward. Aster would love to go and take this tier 1 middle lane, though. Nice Team Spirit ready for themselves for a move down bot. They've got Arena. Storm seems like he's ready to get into the thick of things. Toronto Tokyo there off in the side in the trees. Going for that Tread Soul Ring build we've seen a little more of this tournament.
They want to get something done. Put some pressure on the tower. Catapult Wave is spawning in 10 seconds, and also knowing that there is no Solar Guardian. But Ori does have Exorcism, so This seems like it's going to be a free tower on the mid lane.
Yeah, and I believe they've seen Yataro's Jug. They know he's alone up in that top jungle. As soon as the 4 heroes from Spirit show themselves on the bottom tower, I mean, Ori doesn't even need to use Exo here. It's just going to be a complete free one.
No one showed up, which means that he can hold on to Exorcism and also this valuable point in silence, because that Prophet is very high level, did manage to get those early kills, sitting at 3-0. Could surprise Storm Spirit, Mars, like even Juggernaut.
Oh, the toss forward. XXS sent straight into the Zeus. Mira drained of his life by Ori's DP. And Toronto Tokyo has nothing left to do here. We'll just ball lightning away and bail and
a courier on top of that.
Chen.
Ori will be tanking the tower. He wants more. They do still have a glyph because their tier 1 tower did die. And Scan connected, so they know someone is here.
Collapse, trying to TP out of here. Oh, there's no stuns coming fast enough. The Chen creeps though. The Harpies and the Hellbear left in the forest. And it did stop the push from Aster though. I made sure that tier 1 tower will still be alive while claiming a lot of farm on the Juggernaut. But when Aster really put their foot down, it doesn't feel like Team Spirit have had any of the answers.
This is where Chen was supposed to be strong once he gets to his mech timing, Hand of God, try to go for something. Mira is about to hit level 6 on Zeus. Collapsed. He wants something, and he wants the big one.
It's Monet. Collapse. He's got Arena. Do we catch him here with Mira? He misses the bolt, and Monet's over the side of the Colosseum, and now the Chrono in.
Dawnbreaker ulti will follow.
On the outside, the Solar Guardian is going to land onto no heroes. Aster trying to respond. A little bit sloppy with their turnaround there, but still able to keep the Void alive, which is important. And Aster bringing more heroes along. Yataro will spin before the Avalanche can touch him. Bobica.
Tumbler's Toy thinking about getting in, but won't be able to close the gap.
He tosses XXS forward, but the displacement out of the spear makes sure that Team Spirit can reset.
This execution from Spirit needed to be perfect. Bolt just to get a little bit of a stun on Faceless Void on the edge of the arena and then use Spear, but very difficult task to execute. Toronto Tokyo recovering on the bottom lane, trying to get as much farm as he can.
Well, someone's left their heart in the jungle. Poor little neutral item. Toronto Tokyo's not going to see it either. Comes back and farms the smaller camps. Baboka spotting Collapse, forcing him back to high ground in the triangle. Team Spirit very much on the back foot, but again, you know, we had the same story in game 1 where Aster were doing exceptionally well. They were 14-2 ahead. You look at the net worth, you look at the item progression.
This time around, it's a bit of a different game because they do have late game security with Faceless Void, Death Prophet scaling insanely well, and so does Dawnbreaker. So I don't think they need to be like too careful about it. Next time Team Spirit uses any of their big ultis, there's a possibility for Aster to go inside a pit because they do have a lot of sustain. Mask of Madness done, Dawnbreaker, like Dazzle does have 2 points in Shadow Wave, and the Exorcism. You would definitely love this Exo to be level 2 for that, because the Ghost double, but we'll see how they approach it.
It still seems pretty difficult to find Toronto Tokyo. After his laning stage going 0-3, he's had a nice, solid 6 minutes where he's completely farmed through, untouched. The catch here on the Storm really is primarily that Faceless Void Chrono. But Team Spirit smoking as 3, a lot of magical nuke damage from these. The Roman and the Greek gods pairing together. Looking for Monet again.
Still no Blink Dagger on Mars, so they need to do it one more time. But this time around, Storm Spirit can jump in and set things up with the Vortex.
Oh, he feels it coming, doesn't he, Monet? Oh, he's stepping forward. Stepping forward. He wants that creep wave. Team Spirit are going to give up on it, though. They don't want to commit. And it looks like the Ocean Heart was finally reclaimed by the rightful owner. Dazzle will take it up as XXS found it in the forest. And now it's go time again, raiding the scan. They don't have vision here, and Team Spirit with 3 wards around this top jungle and Roche area. If they're able to break this smoke, they could get out with just minor casualties.
Radiant scan connected, he's holding the entrance.
Dire scan as well, so they know that this angle of attack is likely to come from the western side. Bobica, Tumbler's Toy, onto the Storm, the spear back across, but the silence is there. Ori with a beautiful timing. launches the silence projectile as Miposhka, Dawnbreaker, hits him with a big old mace, and the Chen will fall. Oh, it does have mech though. A bit of time bought, but delaying the inevitable.
That was nicely done from Baboka. The combination this time around, toss into silence and also tossing him away from mech, which could potentially make a difference there.
Collapse, still wanting to use this arena. Doesn't have any backup, and another freebie for Aster. Really picking up the pace now. These towers, money in the pockets of every hero. Outpost unlocked with a tier 2 taken.
Bit of a difficult task here for Team Spirit. Their position 1 and 2 not involved in any of the kills. Combined score of 0, 5, and 0. They will need to recover.
Now, well, Yatoro with this Maelstrom, he's climbing. 7,100 net worth, but you talked about the answer, right? This Faceless Void. He was bottom of the cores. Now he's building up. He's had a bit of freedom to get his farm going. And Aster have managed to get themselves out this lane stage and into a great spot against Spirit. Monet, Chrono straight up on the Storm, and they've got enough damage to bring him down. Oh, the ball lightning left
In and
and
out.
right. Where are we off to? Back to the Chen with a mech. That was so close. Did Void get any time locks in there?
I think he did, but needed one extra hit and not enough. Dawnbreaker ulti not available. The Chrono into Solar Guardian is a really good setup for them. XXS having a time of his life on Dawnbreaker. 5, 0, and 4. Does have Deso finished, so that's going to be some extra pressure on towers from Spirit. Next Roche definitely on menu once that Prophet has Exorcism, and that's 40 seconds.
Also a really nice item against the Juggernaut. When he spins, one of the ways to deal with him is just to click the Jug. Hit him down, do that physical damage.
Big synergy with that Prophet ulti as well.
Oh yeah, amp up the physical damage of the Ghosts, you're right. Back into the Ancients. Monet has a stack here for himself. Mask of Madness Maelstrom done, 17 minutes in. He's going to offer a lot of damage in these Chronos. A little bit of backup here as Ori will guard the staircases, making sure there's no advance from Spirit. And even smoking to play aggressively again.
Even though Death Prophet is 600 gold away from BKB, they're going to smoke in and look for something. Storm Spirit, how's he doing? Kaya done. Looking towards that BKB, definitely needs it. Collapse does have that Mars Blink Dagger, so that's going to be a good way to initiate and follow up on Storm Spirit.
Well, the vision top spots nothing, so it looks like Aster going a little deeper. Dire Vision is up there, but they are still smoked. Now broken as they get the D-Ward and the outpost reclaimed. The mid lane being pinged out as Team Spirit are moving into the vicinity.
Aster taking out Outpost from Spirit, which means that there's not going to be buybacks and TP rotations if they go inside a pit, and that's exactly what they're doing.
Yeah, with the Ghosts and this Void with so much damage, they're in the Roche pit. Miposhka does get that mid-tier 1, but Team Spirit not reacting to this, just allowing Aster to take it. And again, just looking at the way that they're itemizing and spending their gold, Team Spirit are absolutely still in this. 2k lead is all that Aster has.
Spirit playing bottom part of the map. They were fully aware of what's happening, but did not want to contest. They don't feel too comfortable. Same as what happened in Game 1 when they had a bristleback. They needed to dodge these fights, and they will definitely need to dodge them again. Or try to bait a fight when there is no Exo, no Chronosphere, and then you have like 2 minutes where you don't really rely on cooldowns as much, because with the Storm Spirit Mars, you can still go for the pickoffs.
Well, Miposhka finally getting his boots 20 minutes in. Already with BKB ready. But very often in these games, 20 minutes in, the defining factor is that team fight execution, playing into your vision, knowing where the targets are that you want to jump. Something that Aster could use here.
Team Spirit, again, has been doing a very good job at dodging the team fights and finding the farm on the map.
Yeah, Yatoro closing in on Skadi, opting not to go for the full Mjolnir this time. Oh, while Collapse, he's not looking for the kill, he's just looking for the creep wave. Or he pushes it into him, they both TP away. They don't want to be up at top lane while XXS does have a shard up. The Starbreaker trying to give him a bit of gap here, but Yatoro, he's 1v4 and getting a kill now on his way out. No Omni Slash, no spin, so Monet will chrono him. The Storm Spirit zips in, zips out, gets the Yatoro Juggernaut out.
And the pullback.
Bubaka, he's back in though. The Hurricane doesn't save him. Monet and Bubaka pairing up finally to kill off Yatoro, but what beautiful play from Spirit.
They did manage to go for the Dawnbreaker, and Toronto Tokyo, he wants more, holding that Arcane Rune. Finally an opening from Collapse.
The Dazzle's down. Monet time walks aggressively now. Ori will come up the stairs. And Bubaka, Tumbler's Toy, the blink in, the aggressive avalanche play with a toss in there. The silence secures the kill. Yule's up, finds the Mars, and Monet chases forward. I don't know if they can finish off Collapse. He's pretty tanky with a wand in the back of Miposhka's Chen. They're diving in with another toss. They've got him.
Bubaka has been everywhere this game, involved in 12 out of 14 kills. This Tumbler's Toy allowing him to close the gap, and they might be able to take out this tower because the lane is pushing in. Ori a bit low on mana.
He's going to have to fall back. Think about his next move. Monet also TPing away. Coming down to this bottom outpost. Dazzle regrouping with Ori. I think he refilled the bottle there.
Put the clarity as well, brought in some neutral items. Siamese Cat playing that real position 5 in this game.
Keeping his mid out on the map so she doesn't have to return to Fountain. Mira. Arcane Boots. Voidstone queued up, so what is that? Going to be a Yule Scepter for the Zeus? Aether Lens?
Most likely Aether Lens to keep the distance, because if he gets closer to a fight, he's just straight up dead. Did manage to pick up the shard, so that's going to be a ton of damage. And he also did put more points in Arc Lightning. He wants to be able to farm, push out the waves as position for Zeus.
That has been the name of the game for Team Spirit. Delay, 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 but Bubaka straight in onto the Chen. Miposhka. He will fall. Trying to keep his army alive though. One of your favorites there, the Ogre Vampire Mage, you call it?
Yeah, that one is really nice. Remember when it was 8 armor?
Yeah, I do. Well, I mean, they nerfed it to 7, then they realized that's still too strong, so put it down to 5. But very good against these heroes like Dawnbreaker and Void, who are reliant on their right-click attacks inside a Chrono. If you get that Frost Shield onto Yatoro or someone, it might be enough to keep them alive. Aster with another minute left on this Aegis, but Team Spirit, they're rallying around Toronto Tokyo, smoking up with the entire Chen army, and Collapse going to lead the charge out here.
He also did pick up the shard on Mars. Be able to push out the waves and potentially get another connection inside the arena.
Toronto Tokyo hunting the backlines. He wants the Dazzle.
Still DD running for a couple of seconds.
Ori half HP. The Chrono's in with the Solar Guardian, but the Arena Spear catching Monet. Yatoro getting low, but the Omni Slash comes out. And the Zeus ult. Thunder God's Wrath rains damage from the heavens. Tiny forced to buy back, but Monet, he's looking for the Juggernaut. Spin, and the Hurricane gets him away from danger, and the blink out, jump away with the ball lightning. Bobaka wants it, desperate for Yatoro.
Mighty Airlines.
With the time dilation, slows him down and gets the kill.
And they're gonna run him down. He does have a Soul Ring, but this long duration silence, another toss.
A bash maybe with the avalanche, the kill on to Toronto Tokyo as Aster bringing it back here in game 2. Collapse with a spear will catch a couple against the barracks, but Aster have cleared through. Team
buyback.
Spirit.
He wants one and he gets it. Extra 500 gold for him. Toronto Tokyo wants to get any kind of gold that he can from these fights. A big problem there. Outpost is still being controlled by Aster, which does allow Bubaka to buy back and TP back into the fight, allowing him to use multiple combos, getting 2 additional kills.
Yeah, look decent, you know, Team Spirit having this backstab ability with the Storm, aiming for the Dazzle.
Big moves from Dazzle, juking Storm Spirit and allowing himself to cast a good Grave off in that fight.
And the Grave and the Yules overlapping a little bit, but Ori kept the Ghosts going. And the ability here, you said it right, Bubaka buying back, TPing to Outpost and able to blink, Tumbler's Toy, find that Juggernaut with a nice toss forward of the Void.
And then finds another combo on the Storm Spirit, who is really low on mana. And something that Storm struggles against is this Dead Prophet silence. Like, a spell we never talked too much about, but it's a huge AoE and it's a long duration silence.
Yeah, 6 seconds. Storm really desperate for this BKB now. And we see the final move, of course, of that Storm Spirit buying back and killing XXS. This BKB is delivered on Toronto Tokyo. Team Spirit want to make some moves of their own. Immediate BKB from Ori. So quick on the fingers and the silent stun. Chain disable on the Storm. His BKB's up.
Oh, he's so low.
He away, but he turns to fight. Bottles up. He just brought back, so he's got to be so careful with his life now.
That's having that Tumbler Stoy, Toronto Tokyo, managing to get out of the trouble. But the next time he's dead, it's gonna be this is gonna be like 70 seconds dead for Toronto.
He'll be gone for a long time. 58 seconds for the next Roche to potentially respawn. So Aster, oh my god, that was close! Toronto Tokyo. Oh my god. If my toes are curling and butt's clenching, I wonder how he's feeling. That Tiny nearly had him.
Gotta be really careful. Next Chronosphere, you know that they're gonna be aiming for them. And so far, Aster did manage to shut down Chen's aggression. Dire Chen, very high win rate so far in this tournament and not allowing him to hit his timings.
Yeah, they've not been able to push top tier 1. They got the bottom and the mid towers, sure, but it's also meant to be securing you areas on the map, and they haven't really been able to cross the river and do anything meaningful until now. Team Spirit gets some vision down, but Ori and Popoka, they want to stomp this out. They don't want the pests to be in their forest, so the Dawnbreaker onto the collapse. Mars take him down with Ori's Spirit Siphon, dead for 45. But Roshan is a long one.
Oh, Chrono, he's thinking about it, faking it. Because he knows Dawnbreaker, if she comes and lands a stun after the Chrono ends, there is more than enough to kill this Storm Spirit. He's still not tanky.
Yeah, Tiny TP'd as well, didn't he? Up to that outpost, still belonging to Aster. But along Roshan, does that favor Team Spirit because they want the game to go longer, or is this still, like you say, the ability for the Void to scale? Dawnbreaker,
yeah, they want to have another set of items. Juggernaut did finish Scotty, a bit of an earlier Scotty timing to reduce the healing from Dead Prophet, Dazzle, Dawnbreaker. Very good pickup here, and now going into Basher. He feels like he needs more control.
Taking control on that top part of the map. There is a bit of dire vision there. Being pinked out by Miposhka. Looks like they want to try and play into that, or at least keep it alive. You don't want all these wards to be removed by Aster. And I'd love to see them pick up a gem at some point, because they are keeping this pressure going. If they grab a gem on Aster to remove every ounce of vision that Spirit has, it means the Storm's life is more difficult, Mars's life is more difficult, and they are fully reliant then on the Zeus ulti to give vision.
Spirit putting in some weird observer wards, if you want to call that, something that's not going to get devorted.
Ori BKB, Exo as well. Moves forward onto the Chen, looks like a freebie. Ooh, the mech and the Hurricane, though. Miposhka, hand of God for himself. A lot expended there to keep the Chen alive. And Roshan still hasn't respawned and won't for a minute.
Hurricane is such a big ability on these neutral. Definitely my favorite one. We've seen so many good plays from it.
Ori, out of the smoke. Straight into Yatoro. He doesn't have BKB anymore, but Monet's there with the Chrono. The two cores caught inside, collapse. He will spear them up against the Colosseum, but the Juggernaut...
Can they bring it down? Yes, they can.
He's gone for 80 seconds. Storm and Mars on the run now. Chen, another kill for Aster as Bobica tumbling forward, tossing back, finding collapse. Monet just needs a bash, the Avalanche comes in, and that's pretty much everyone of meaningful value dead on Team Spirit's side.
And
Aster with another beautiful fight.
XXS finding Storm Spirit, that Mindbreaker coming in clutch, extra silence does allow him to connect. And look at the way Team Aster is building. They have Faceless Void with the Time Walk that can close the gap, and then you have 3 heroes with the Blink Dagger, so they want to be able to follow up the jump. This is second Roche, which means free shard for them. Dazzle has one queued up. I wouldn't mind seeing one on Dead Prophet, because Faceless Void did pick up his, and so did Dawnbreaker. Let's see if they prioritize Ori's shard or they give one to Siamese Cat. You wanted to see Gem? Dazzle picked one up.
Very good. Just keep it going. Make sure that you're stomping down with this 11k lead you have. Spend the money you've got.
They gave it to Dazzle in the end.
All right.
Sadly, Scat is like, oh, I'm sorry, that Prophet. You were not close to Roche, which means I'm going to be taking it.
Yeah, yoinks it. And still 15 seconds with no Storm. Mira immediately found the initiation from Bobaka too much. Yatoro with collapse. Are they wanting to fight this? He spins, but it's going to come to an end soon. Monet does get bashed on the way out. Yatoro looking
Gets
for
another one.
bash. Has the grave and the time walk though. The arena holding them in place while XXS focuses the Juggernaut down. The Hurricane again, giving safety to Yatoro for the Omni Slash to arrive on Monet.
They do manage to bring him down once. Zeus is respawning in 15 seconds. Chen in a lot of trouble. Gets one shot
as well.
Bobaka is playing out of his mind on this Tiny. He's finding every single time one of the crucial targets, even without vision. He's blinking in aggressively and going for the right toss back, making Toronto Tokyo's life very miserable in this game.
It has been impossible for Storm to play the game. And this Deso getting a lot of stacks up now for XXS. Shiva's guard, is that fully done? Being delivered by the courier. Captain Bambo, the little panda arriving, but there you step 1 inch out of position. And Aster will be right on top of you.
And also Kalaj Grave coming in here. Yatoro did not want to go in, but after seeing that bash, he's like, well, you know what? I'm going to do it again. You want to see me do it again?
Yeah, just believe. Well, very well executed by Aster, keeping everybody alive. Yes, Monet loses the Aegis, so that's likely what Team Spirit were really aiming for in this team fight, is get Aegis, get out with as few deaths as possible.
Ori having a perfect game. They did not manage to kill him even once. Pops that Exorcism with your Cane Rune. Blink Dagger, Spider Legs. Toronto will TP out. That was a risky move.
Yeah, very.
Ori could have potentially blinked and used Yule Scepter. Next time he does that, I'm pretty sure Ori will be ready.
He'll be looking for it.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
Monet up top with Baboka. And a Chrono on Yatoro. Under this vision, with the Solar Guardian arriving, they've got the Juggernaut locked up and killed. Miposhka being chased now. And Team Spirit, they're being put straight in jail.
Deleted from the game, 3-shotted by Dawnbreaker. This hero is nuts. Once you get the item timings, it gets pretty ridiculous. They will need some spears into tier 4 towers potentially. This game looking really rough. Next set of items for Team Spirit.
I don't know if you can see on the mini-map, but I think up at the top there are, they're drawing sad faces and smiley faces. There's 2 Chen creeps up there making the eyes, and both Collapse and Mira are drawing sad smiles. Oh, they've got Collapse, forced into BKB. A lot of physical damage from XXS, but not quite enough to get the kill on the Mars there.
Toronto trying to get as much farm as he can, going for Orchid. Wants to be able to assassinate this Dazzle, but Glimmer Cape and 2,000 gold on Dazzle might be a bit too difficult.
Well, at least Team Spirit are having fun with these creeps up top. They get recalled back into the Chen's area, back in that Dire base. Well, it's nice to see, even though they're losing, down 17k, Team Spirit lifting their own spirits, while Toronto Tokyo, BKB, has a TP ready, going to ball lightning off to the left-hand side. Make sure the Faceless Void or anyone like that can't catch up to him.
They need to play like this, try to buy as much time as possible. Juggernaut, his next item, going to be Mjolnir. We've seen what Mjolnir can do from all these instances of damage. But yeah, one thing to be also careful about is that Dazzle Shard that was given to him from Roshan. He picked up a Blink Dagger, so they can actually close the gap. 4 Blink Daggers on Aster plus a Time Walk.
That Radiant Ward has got Aster so much, and if they can get another one, Mira successfully TP's home, but their Obs Ward's going to get cleared out. That one bit of vision for Aster has given them so many kills, so much information. And they're pinging the Dire Ward as well. They'll know to remove it. How long have we waited for that Storm to get Orchid? He finally
34
has it
minutes.
delivered. How much of an impact is that going to have for him?
And Toronto already knows. Pay attention. Dust of appearance on a core, something that we don't see in the pub games, but he bought it. He knows that he needs to assassinate this Dazzle.
That is his primary objective. Find and kill the Dazzle. Blink and Glimmercape on Siamese Cat, though. It's like an Oracle build. You know, keep distance, jump in when you are needed at the last second. Try and hide from the Storm, who yet again is just balling into creep waves to keep this push away from the Dire base. They do find Collapse, though. A combo from Tiny, but a great spear back. Monet, does he want to spend Chrono? He doesn't, and will allow the blink away. Collapse, TP's home successfully.
These are the type of moves that are going to keep them in game, forcing a 5-man rotation from Aster, which means that the top part of the map will be free to farm.
Biding their time. Yatoro about to finish off Mjolnir. We've already seen the work he can do with that Basher. Adding more damage. And more layers to their team fight. A very patient one from Team Spirit. Waiting for anyone from Aster to show that they really want to go on. XXS has already dipped back into the trees. And Radiant Vision, watching down at that bottom part of the map. That did give Aster a nice little move there to keep the wave shoved out. And it's also nice because Team Spirit would naturally flow down into that bottom jungle to look to take over some of that farm there, while the Aster heroes are all actually up top.
Team Spirit did not have Outpost
or Ori
for themselves in a very long time. Gonna start with the silence. Toronto Tokyo does not want to risk anything, or does he?
That's a little, you know, hello, I see you. You forced my BKB, I'm trying to force yours. Ori doesn't flinch. Holds that BKB. Scythe of Vice coming up next as well, so another tool to catch the Storm or the Juggernaut. Make sure they can't get off their magic immunity spells or abilities.
Also, Void did hit level 25, so 20% backtrack, that's a big one. They still didn't manage to kill him even once. He does have Tossback, Dawnbreaker ulti, Grave, so gonna be very difficult. One way to deal with it is to break it. This talent is breakable, so I see Juggernaut going for Silver Edge. Still very far away from it, but eventually gonna be really good against it.
It just never feels like Team Spirit are out of these games. A 20k lead, and they are still punching back, controlling the map. Their macro play is superb. And another minute and a half wait for Roshan to respawn. Means even more time to delay and get these key items on them. Aster, yeah, they're finding room for themselves, but they need another teamfight victory to really close this one out and secure the win.
Oh, Collapse. He's selling all of his items. He wants to have a refresher for the next fight.
Okay, you worried me there for a second. What are he selling?
No. We didn't mean selling his item. Send the queuing up Shadow Amulet. He's still in this game.
There's the refresher orb. Barbacar with a gem, getting rid of this dire vision. Yet again, so important for that catch and kill potential. As we do start to get some of these tier 4 items. Spell Prism for Aster. Ascetic's Cap there. Grabbed by the Juggernaut. Still has that Titan Sliver though.
They need to find their tier 4 items. Ori holding a Spell Prism, and they swap the items. Boca will be one. Getting those spider legs, which means that he might find better angles for the toss backs, and also getting closer to level 20, so toss requires no target. That talent's pretty OP.
It's like Team Spirit know when Roshan's going to respawn, even without the timer. Dire scanning, doesn't connect on anybody. But at this point, they kind of have to assume that Roche is alive.
Oh, they know. Radiant using a scan, and they know exactly where they are. Drawing on a minimap. It's not Smileys this time around.
Aster, they're ready. Monet to the high ground. Yeah, I think he saw them. Caught a glimpse. The smoke did break, and Roshan about to respawn.
Also, Dawnbreaker hitting level 25. 2 Starbreaker charges. That's a big one. That's the game changer.
The Vul Assassin, he's in the pit scouting out Aster as well. Sees Ori and Monet. One jump, one initiation. That's what wins you these team fights. Storm with his BKB up, they focus the Void, the Grave comes early. Yatoro, he's
Another spear away.
Spear away, they're aiming Monet, but he gets the time walk out. Comes back in with a Chrono, and Aster, they'll turn this one back around on Spirit. A double for Monet, and likely the game coming swiftly after.
And they're gonna call it.
And we're all heading to a game 3.
And they tried really hard in the end to kill this Faceless Void. Even if they managed to get a kill, he still does have a buyback and an outpost at TP2. That Grave, in the end, coming in clutch, but still very, very difficult game for Team Spirit.
So challenging, but you can always feel their potential to come back into it with their team fight execution, but superbly played by Aster here in game 2 to tie things up.